بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم ولعن أعداءهم. Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam states, ما وحد الله من كيفه. Whoever knows Allah, whoever has connections with the Creator, any heart that actually has been enlightened by the light of ma'rifah of Almighty God will know definitely that's impossible for him to actually think about Almighty God, how He knows things and how He created things and how is His power. This is called takif. The think of how Almighty God might do this or do that, or how He knows things. It's called kayfa, takif. Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam states, Ma wahad Allah man kayfa. Whoever thinks about how Almighty God does things, actually he doesn't know Allah. He doesn't believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one. He doesn't have any relation with the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا حَقِيقَتَهُ وَأَصَابَ مَنْ مَثَّلَهُ. And whoever believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala got anything similar to him, he's actually not aiming Allah. وَلَا إِيَّاهُ عَنَى مَنْ شَبَّهَ. Those who actually make similarity between Almighty God's descriptions and Almighty God's creations descriptions, they are actually not focusing on Allah, not meaning Allah by what they are doing. وَلَا صَمَدَهُ مَنْ أَشَارَ إِلَيْهِ وَتَوَهُّمَهُ. And whoever point at Allah that this is God, that is God, okay, pointing on something, on a place, on a thing that is surrounded by a space and place, okay, if he point at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is actually not aiming Allah, not talking to Allah. In other words, he doesn't know God. The way he went is a dead-end way, which is wrong. He has to go back. In another narration, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam states, بِتَشْعِيرِهِ الْمَشَاعِرِ عُرِفَ أَنْ لَا مَشْعَرَ لَهُ وَبِمُضَادَّتِهِ بَيْنَ الْأُمُورِ عُرِفَ أَنْ لَا ضِدَّ لَهُ. When we see that we have sense, the sense of feeling, that we can feel things, we can touch things, we can feel that, we can watch, we can hear. This is called masha'ir, things that we can get connection, our soul can get connection to the outside world through those organs, such as eye, such as ear, such as touching, okay? When we see that we as creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have things, devices, instruments that we have to use to make connection with the outside world, this actually can lead us to a conclusion that Almighty God doesn't have those sense. He doesn't have eyes, He doesn't have ears, He doesn't have hands, He doesn't have legs. He won't come and go like we come and go. He won't walk, He won't run, He won't touch, He won't feel a sour in His heart. All of that is incorrect and inappropriate if we want to connect it to Almighty Allah. That's why Amir al-Mu'minin says, بِتَشْعِيرِهِ الْمَشَاعِرِ عُرِفَ أَنْ لَا مَشْعَرَ لَهُ when we see that we have these sins, we can come to a conclusion that Almighty God cannot have those sins. Okay? Why? Because the difference between Almighty God's creations and Almighty God is actually a real different. And when we say it's a real different or different in descriptions, we mean whatever applies on descriptions, or whatever descriptions apply on creations, actually, it's impossible for those descriptions to be applied on Almighty God, the Creator. Otherwise, we will be putting Almighty God and His creations in one level, and this is incorrect. God, the Creator, cannot be like His creations. بتشعيره المشاعر عرف أن لا مشعر له وبمضادته بين الأمور عرف أن لا ضد له. If we have opposite, for instance, men have opposite gender, women, male, female, strong, weak, blind, someone who can see, deaf, someone who can hear, okay? Or human beings against human beings, or animals against animal. So opposite, they got actually things that they can stand and say, oh, we are here as well. You have to look at us. You have to look at us as well. So مضادته بين الأمور, when we say there is light and there's darkness, there is sour, there is sweet. So when we see these contradictions, which is, it's not contradictions, but things stands against the other thing, taste against the other taste, we will come to a conclusion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not like that. He doesn't have anything that can object in any way His actually orders or His wills. وبمضادته بين الأمور عرف أن لا ضد له وبمقارنته بين الأشياء عرف أن لا قرين له. So we have too many things that they are similar to us. When we see that, we come to a conclusion that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't have any thing that is similar to Him. In another narration, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam states, لا يجري عليه السكون والحركة وكيف يجري عليه ما هو أجراه ويعود فيه ما هو أبدأه. Standing, walking cannot be applied on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because how something that He has started, He has done, it's Almighty God's deeds, it's Almighty God's actually creations, in other words, can be affect, or the descriptions of those things can be applied on Almighty God. كيف يجري عليه ما هو أجراه ويعود فيه ما هو أبدأه. It's impossible. He has started that. It's impossible actually for those descriptions to apply on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ويحدث فيه ما هو أحدثه إذا لتفاوتت ذاته. He has created something. He has created descriptions. He has created a creation with these specific descriptions. None of those descriptions can be applied on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, His essence, His haqiqah, His reality will be a reality that contains actually different descriptions. He's the light and He's the darkness. He's the power and He's the weakness. And this is impossible. إذن لتفاوتت ذاته ولا تجزأ كنه. He won't be see through the same thing that He hear. As the commander of the faithful, Imam Ali alayhi salam, describes Allah, يَسْمَعُ بَعَيْنِ مَا يَرَى. We hear through our ears. We observe through our eyes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not like that. يَسْمَعُ بَعَيْنِ مَا يَرَى, because He doesn't use any instruments, any organs. وَلَتَجَزَّأَ كُنْهُ. If we think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might have some of His creations descriptions, لَتَجَزَّأَ كُنْهُ. He won't be one, actually, as we are not. Every single one of us is not a person, it's one. No, he's got hand, foot, of course. You're gonna call the whole thing, name it as Ahmed or Ali or whatever. But different organs, different things, millions of molecules, and etc. وَلَا تَجَزَّأَ كُنْهُ وَلَمْ تَنَعَ مِنَ الْأَزَلِ مَعْنَاهُ. He won't be infinite. وَلَا كَانَ لَهُ وَرَاء إِذْ لَهُ وَجُدَ لَهُ أَمَامِ. Then Amir al-Mu'minin states, وَلَا تَحَوَّلَ دَلِيلًا بَعْدَ أَنْ كَانَ مَدْلُولًا عَلَيْهِ. إذن لقامت آية المصنوع فيه ولا تحول دليلا بعد أن كان مدلولا عليه. If we apply some of Almighty God's descriptions, if you apply some of Almighty God's creations descriptions upon Him, what we are doing, actually we are, the problem is that we are dragging the essence of His creations and sticking it to Allah. So Allah won't be a God anymore. وَلَا تَحَوَّلَ دَلِيلًا بَعْدَ أَنْ كَانَ مَدْلُولًا عَلَيْهِ. You're going to be assigned to another God. And this is impossible. وَخَرَجَ بِسُلْطَانِ الْإِمْتِنَاءِ مَنْ أَنْ يُؤَثِّرَ فِيهِ مَا يُؤَثِّرَ فِي غَيْرِهِ. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't change at all. خرج. He's out of these equations that there are things can affect it. No. Nothing can affect Allah. خرج بسلطان الامتناع. When he's actually in a position that nothing can touch him, nothing can harm him. خرج بسلطان الامتناع. So if it's nothing, imtina means he cannot be affected by anything. Because he's not going to be affected by anything, so Almighty God won't be touched by anything that might actually affect His creations. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil.